Over to you, Pops.
Thank you, Dr. Lambert. Greetings to our distinguished participants or attendees. It's glad to know that the conference is going wonderfully well in Kigali, Rwanda, and is also very impactful. I will start today's presentation by sharing with us an experience here in the United States. I happen to meet some Africans. I don't want to peculiarize it now to Nigeria. I said the challenges we are facing, those challenges are not peculiar to our country only, it's everywhere. If you talk of economic challenges, if you talk of insecurity, we should not peculiarize it to our country, it's everywhere. So I met some Africans here. They've graduated from their various universities, at least for their first degrees in Africa, and they find themselves here in the United States. As a matter of fact, one of them went for an interview, and during that interview, they did not bother to really ask her too much about the paper qualifications. As she, a graduate of accounting, and what they did at that interview is to just print out, hand over to her the list of accounting software, about 16 of them, different software and applications and templates. And they asked her to identify how many out of these 16 software can she manipulate, can she play with. Is somebody I know very well. And she said out of the 16, she was able to tick Sage 50, Microsoft Excel, then QuickBooks. And do you know what they did? They set a particle question. That's she had to now do a test. They based the test on those three areas she said she was familiar with. And the way the questions were tailored, there is no how somebody who have not actually used those software can answer those questions. They are not this question of you just do assumption. They will actually look practical that okay, if you want to process this particular transaction, what is the formula or how will you get about it? So what are we trying to say? Just a link up with what I said yesterday, that whereas most African universities just prepare students just to graduate from the university, most of these developed countries prepare students for the industry. And I remember also mentioning yesterday that this is where ACCSA Global is even coming in, bridging the digital divide in the teaching and practice of accounting, finance, and related field. Also, a quick recap. Yesterday, I made a statement that the future we don't prepare for, when that future eventually arrives, we may not fit into it. People who go into battle or who go into war, they don't learn how to carry gun in the war front. It was Branson who put it this way. He said, education killed the disease of ignorance, superstition, and fear. Say, I will study first, bag the certificate, acquire the skills, then the enviable opportunity will await or will open in future. And we say, behind every public manifestation, secret preparation is involved. So, as professors, let me start with professors because we don't have students in our among us now. As professors, the responsibility, the onus is on us to prepare our students for the knowledge society and for the future. And it's a good one. We have a blend of academia and the industry here. A blend we really make for a perfect preparation when we go back to our various institutions. And as we can see from the screen here, as the opening insight, nations do not rise on resources. They rise on the resourcefulness of people empowered with knowledge and technology. And put in another way, there is nothing called dry place. There are only dry people. There is nothing called dry place. Because even if you put somebody without ideas, somebody without skills in a place that is laden with resources, the person will not be able to do anything there. Idea rules the world. So I'm saying nations do not rise on resources, they rise on the resourcefulness of people empowered with knowledge and technology. There was this riddle shared, permit me to share this also. There was this riddle shared at creation. Nobody was there when the world was created, but it's a riddle anyway. That when God was creating the whole world, and he started allocating different resources into different geographical locations. And when God came to that location that will be known later as Nigeria, God started allocating all manner of resources there: bitumen, gold, iron ore, crude oil, to mention but a few. And the creator that was present at creation asked God a question: Lord, why are you depositing, how are you allocating this much of this particular geographical location? And according to that riddle, the response was, God answered back and said, you just watch and see the kind of people I will create there. By implication, he said Nigerians are Nigeria's problem. This statement I just made now was an exam question in one polytechnic, Federal Polytechnic, Paranamoda in Zamfara State. The lecturer asked the student 20 marks. Nigerians are Nigeria's problem. So we are blessed with human and natural resources. Ours is that of management. You see many developed countries today, they have interest in Nigeria because we are loaded in Nigeria with resources. And somebody put it this way: say, a great tragedy in life is to have eyes but lack sight. And when we lack sight, eyes wide open, but we can't see opportunities in and around us. It's a problem. And that is the reason you see people crying for scarcity in the midst of plenty. Cry for scarcity in the midst of plenty. We practically beg for what we even have available in abundance. This is a misfit. See another quotation here. The future will belong to societies that learn faster, adapt quicker, and digitize deeper. We are in an era referred to as era of digital Darwinism. So those who adapt, those who change as time changes, are the one who bring about the desired transformation. Another opening insight here: say digital transformation is not about machines replacing humans. See one statement here. It is about humans becoming smarter, faster, and more empowered. And I made a statement. I said, artificial intelligence is not taking over people's job. What is taking over people's jobs, or who is taking over people's jobs, are those who have changed and who have learned the art of using artificial intelligence. They are the one taking over the job, not the AI itself. So all we just need to do is to change as time changes, adapt ourselves with the environment, and go along with the flow so that we will be the one causing the disruptions and we will not be disrupted. Because if you are not causing the disruption, of course, the disruptions happening over the world will affect us. By way of introduction here, the digital inclusion mean ensuring everyone, regardless of location, income, age, or gender, can access and use digital technologies. Availability of affordable internet, digital devices, and essential digital services. That is digital inclusion. Now, there is a nexus, there is a connectivity between digital inclusion and workforce competitiveness. I would say digitally included population can actively compete in global job market. It enables workers to transition into new technology-driven roles created by artificial intelligence and automation. And this connectivity also strengthens innovation, entrepreneurship, and national competitiveness. And the next question that will come to mind: why Africa must accelerate talent development for the knowledge society? This morning, before this paper, I just going through the online news. It's 3:45, 48 a.m. here in the United States. So while looking at the news, that should be YouTube actually. And I saw one doctor. He resigned from Hopkins University here in the US, very popular. They have great hospital there. He resigned and said, let me go back to Africa and go and develop my country. Yes, acquire all the knowledge here. Very rich, of course. The people who earn more resources or who have more revenue here are those in the health sector. Inside those in the education sector, for example, a professor in the United States here, if you hear what they pay them there, it's really is a good one. But here they do wages differentiation. The course you read also determine the wage or salaries they pay you as a professor. I have one of my professor colleagues in Southern University. We were very close. That one, the last I heard about him, he was paid $120,000 as salary per annum. He read MIS, Management Information System. And we have this other deputy dean in College of Business also, who was their deputy dean. But during the vacation, another university offered him a fantastic and juicy offer. And guess what? They paid him as much as $250,000 because of his experience and the skills he has acquired. See, gone are the days now, especially in developed countries where people look at certificates. And it's good to have certificates, but they are looking at this is funny now. There is certificate and there is certificate. Certificate. Oh, no, certificate and certificate. How is one thing for you to have all the papers? But what is the essence of the papers and qualification we have gathered? And they now give you a tax, and we cannot perform. We back home in Nigeria, our consulting firm, let me digress a bit. We had this guy who came to our office one morning looking beaten, battered, buffeted, molested, harassed. The guy was in panic. And we asked, "Well, what is the problem? What is the problem?" You know what this guy says? He says, "Sir, I just lost a lucrative job opportunity that was supposed to fetch me 150,000 naira salary as a fresh graduate." And we asked him, how did it happen? What happened? He said, during the interview, they asked me which software I can play with. And he was quick in telling them Sage 50. That was one of the most popular accounting software in the world. Unknown to him that they already have a desktop, and on that desktop were installed different accounting software. And they gave him a simple task. Go and use the Sage 50 you say you have a mastery over to generate invoice. That was the task they asked him to go and perform. He was a Gafili Gadoki. And this guy said, "Sir, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it." Preparation is very, very important. That's what we are just saying here. Learning objectives at the end of this presentation. Participants should understand digital inclusion concept and framework drivers of the future of work, keys required for Africa's emerging digital economy, barriers to inclusion and how to overcome them, then strategies for preparing youth and workers for the knowledge society. Knowledge society. Knowledge is power. I keep saying this thing, knowledge is power. But then we don't stop at knowledge alone. It is the knowledge applied that will give us a result, and that is what is called wisdom. So wisdom is not just accumulation of knowledge. Wisdom is not the accumulation of certificates. Wisdom is not the accumulation of information. Wisdom is not the accumulation of revelation. It is the practical application of knowledge to produce proof. That is the essence of our acquisition of knowledge should translate into products and services to solve human problem. And I put it this way again, that most times the size of the problem we solve affect the size of our income. You solve a local problem, you may only attract a local income. And you solve a global problem like this one that now became popular during the COVID-19, this Zoom. You know how many millions this guy is making? Millions. And Zoom has been there, but because, and Zoom has been, I said Zoom has been there before the COVID. This is how people think ahead. Even this AI, people thought AI is just a recent development. It has been there for long. Some people know ahead, they saw ahead, and they went ahead. Okay, there will be a time in future that people will not have to travel. I'm talking of Zoom now. That people don't have to travel around to have meeting. So you need to identify, see ahead first. Then the need will come in future. So that's the learning objectives. Now we go straight to the first item here. So understanding digital inclusion. I will say access to affordable internet and digital devices. And here we are saying reliable broadband connectivity at prices citizens can afford. I've seen quite a number of us in Africa. I've told us I won't be calling Nigeria Nigeria because when we are even talking about Nigerian problem, when you hear about the challenges of other African countries, you will be thanking God for Nigeria home. So I'm just generalizing because we are focusing now on Africa. I say I've met some people that every 2 minutes or 3 minutes, you see they switch off their data. They say the cost of data, the charges too much. And by so doing, some also means important opportunity. Maybe somebody who is not patient, they call you once, call you once, call you twice. So how do we do? Access to affordable internet and digital devices, availability of smartphones, laptops, and digital tools for learning and work. How many of our students can afford this laptop? Here in the United States, what they do, they give it to them free. They give it to them free. These gadgets they use, Chromebooks, they give it to them free here. And for our information, also, I'm sure some of us are, we are public schools here, at least from primary to colleges, sorry, to higher education. That's what we call secondary school in Nigeria, is free education. Free education, and they give them Chromebook. No wonder one of the efforts we also made in our own private school in Abuja, that's Buhari, Abuja, Nigeria. We have a private school there, White Knight Academy. We have exposed our students to this digital technology, digital device. But what we could afford, just 100 laptops. So their last exam, even the last session, they use that CBT, computer-based test. That's what we use to expose them. And again, sorry for this digression, I need to also draw our attention because we are not only doing we are not just talking the talk, we are doing the talk. And guess what? In order for our own children within that community, it's a community service anyway, White Knight Academy. It's a secondary school. Uh, just to make education affordable to the less privileged. Till date, we still charge 17,000 naira school fees. Our bus service is free bus service. And in that school, as at the last count, we have over 400 students. So the education can reach the less privileged. Now, the next point is digital skills and literacy for all demographics. Digital skills. We are saying the basic skills they need here using device, browsing safely, accessing online services. Then the advanced skills include coding, data analysis, cloud tools, and AI familiarity. These are some of the digital skills that is relevant that all demographics required. The inclusive digital policies and regulatory framework. Here we are saying national digital strategies that promote equitable access for all citizens. Do we have that one in place in our country? Do we even have the strategies put in place? I love, we were discussing with Dr. Lambe a while ago. Was it yesterday? And he told me that is it the DVC from APU represented the honorable minister of, I can't remember now, he represented a particular is a permanent secretary in this area of AI. Fantastic. That's the direction the world is going. I mentioned that in universities in the United States now, they already have AI policy. So accessible services for marginalized and rural population. Somebody will ask a question here. Even the people in the urban areas, even in Abuja, let's take the FCT. How many of the people residing in Abuja have access to the internet services or digital services, not to talk of the rural areas? I remember also recently when WAEC and NECO said, okay, the next exam will be computer based, that the National Assembly has said, no, we are not ready for that. We are not mature for that yet. But then again, the vice principal of my school forwarded to me another memo. I don't know where that one is coming from. That WAEC is saying they are ready for the computer-based test. We don't know which one to believe now. whether the one the National Assembly have said Nigeria is not yet ripe for computer-based WAEC exam, and the latest they forwarded, WAEC is saying they are ready. So I believe a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. We will get there. The next subheading is the knowledge society explained. And if we look at this knowledge society from this diagram we are seeing, we have transition from resource-based to knowledge-driven economy. And we are saying here global economies are shifting from dependence on natural resources to reliance on knowledge, skills, and innovation. Economic value increasingly created through technology, creativity, and intellectual capabilities. Productivity now depends more on human capital than physical assets. In accounting, for example, we have what is called human resources accounting. And the proponent of human resources accounting opine that no matter the billions of dollars, of naira, or pounds you have invested on machines, on technology, without the human element, these machines cannot work anything. That is, it is good to invest in technology. It is good to invest in computers. It is good to invest in artificial intelligence. But it takes human being to prompt the AI. It takes human being to make this machine work. And they are saying, instead of relying only on technology or machines, train your people, empower the human resources, because behind everything working must be at least a work need human being. And the proponent of this human resources accounting, they're so funny. It's a funny discussion. They're saying, now, if human being is this important that spend all the billions on machine, and this machine cannot work without human being. So the same way you recognize machinery or plant, property, and equipment in your statement of financial position. There should also be a portion in that statement of financial position, we call it balance sheet, where you will also show the value of the human being, human resources that is making things to work. Now let's see the second one in this diagram. Say importance of innovation, data, and intellectual capital. Say data is now a major economic asset, driving decision making and competitive intelligence. Of course, innovation fuels new industries, digital markets, and entrepreneurial growth. Then here we talk of intellectual capital. We are talking of skills, ideas, creativity. This one determines institutional and national success. Then continuous learning and research drives sustainable development. What are we saying here? That the importance of innovation, data, and intellectual capital in this knowledge society cannot be overemphasized. Tell us, I remember Professor Ayagi then in Congo campus, ABU Zaria, he taught us entrepreneurial development, yeah, entrepreneurship. And we will tell you the innovation and creativity. I still remember that quotation from Professor Ayagi. He said, innovation and creativity are specific tools of entrepreneurs. The people we see today who are billionaires, celebrated millionaires, is not by salary. Salary. Yoruba people will say salary, we just see it. Sometimes before the salary come, it is already gone. And so the time will not permit us today to digress and see one particular template that will help us to prepare for retirement. These are training. I think we have that master class. Dr. Lambert, is that June this year, master class in financial intelligence, preparing for retirement and building lasting legacy. During this master class, what we did is not just do the theory talk. We have some tools that we shared with attendees that you can use to prepare for your financial future, so that we will not join the bandwagon of those who after retiring, they will be looking at what have I done with my finances, with the little resources I have then. But no problem, we still have opportunity to have more in future. The next one is implications for employment. Remember, we are saying the knowledge society explained. The implications for employment, productivity, and national competitiveness. The implication here is high demand for tech-savvy workers with dependable skills. That's just the summary of this now. Implications. Those who prepare themselves digitally are open to great opportunities, not only in their own nation, they will be sought after. And that's why we have some people today in Nigeria, they live in Nigeria, they earn income from the United States. I don't want to, we give God all the glory. It's not just to say something about myself. Some people say, I was discussing with a Nigerian yesterday, she's in Easton, Texas. And the woman said, Prof, I'm not surprised that you are giving your green card in less than 1 year. Do you know there are some people who are here 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? We even have some that up to 20 years, they did not answer them. But when I share my own experience, I said, when I submitted my application for a green card 2023, the US immigration had to write me. They wrote me and said, Dr. Paul, that's what they call people here, that your application is submitted in a center. There are backlog in the center. So we're going to move your application to another center where we're going to give it urgent attention. And honestly, when my application got to the new center, another immigration officer called. Is that Dr. Paul? I say, yes, sir. Say, I have your application right here on my table. The only thing holding your application is your medicals. Go and do your medicals, and we'll take a decision. And in less than a year. So this woman was saying, United States need people like you who can add to the economy. But I said, no, it's not all about the qualification or the skills. Is about God, the backing of the extraordinary God. Make an ordinary man appear extraordinary. We learn how to give the glory to the Almighty God. But the reality is, SARS and MAS, between 2023 to date, that have been given that green card. When you talk of mobilization of revenue, means have used the skills or whatever to generate and that came into the account in this US, honestly, it's over $700,000. Over $700,000. What are we saying? That when you empower yourself with the right skills, and it doesn't matter that maybe because I live here, I just came back from Nigeria 2 weeks ago and I was away to Nigeria for about 7 weeks. So anywhere I find myself, as long as I have access to these devices, the work continue. Then the last one is role of ICT, automation and AI. Role of ICT, of course, the role of ICT in this automation, we are talking all about AI. We've seen that yesterday. That the knowledge society is not complete without ICT and automation. The next slide is a global future of work trends. The first one is automation and AI reshaping job roles. This is the reality on ground. The rise of remote work and hybrid workplaces, like our own consulting firm in Nigeria, my staff, the one that come to work maximal time is 3 times. They come 3 times, some 2 times. So you work from home. Then digital entrepreneurship and gig economy growth. That is another one. Here, we are saying freelancing platforms and digital marketplaces unlocking income opportunities. Then we have demand for STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. There's high demand for that. ICT and soft skills, demand for this is really growing. Then lifelong learning as a necessity. So learning is a continuous process. Rapid technological change makes continuous upskilling essential. Sometimes you realize that the skill you even have yesterday, like I showed to us, when the one who develops Slides GPT started, you don't have opportunity to edit. It's the content given to you that will make use, but they still work on it. It's a continuous process. Now, the next slide, Africa's digital landscape. I'll be as fast as possible because I'm doing like 2 in 1 this morning. Over 570 million Africans use the internet. That's approximately 43% of the population. Mobile penetration exceeds 85%, making mobile the primary access channel. And for smartphones, a smartphone adoption is growing rapidly and projected to reach 75% by 2030. These are some of the statistics in mobile penetration. Then youth demographic advantage. So youth demographic, 70% of Africa's population is under the age of 30. Africa will contribute 1/3 of the world's youth population by 2050. You see the advantage we have? If we have the number, we have the figure. Youth employment, unemployment remains high, yet digital sector show strong job potential. So it means the direction. Now, if we face the digital sector and our youth are empowered, already these developed countries are already saying, I think I have some countries like Germany, then is it Portugal, then we have Australia, specifically Zealand, are already creating opportunity for youth to come from Africa. There are jobs available because they are having aging population here. Challenges, persistent digital divide. There's digital divide. We still have a lot of people, particularly in the rural areas, that they don't have access to this internet. They don't have access to these technologies. And so women in sub-Saharan Africa are 25% less likely than men to use mobile internet. Only 28% of rural households have meaningful internet access compared to 62% in urban areas. How do we bridge this gap? Then we have the infrastructure and affordability challenges. And just one statement here, Africa has the world's most expensive mobile data, averaging $3 to $5 per gigabyte in many countries. We see the next slide. Key skills for the future. Because of time, I will just take this one. We'll share this slide later. One, digital literacy and ICT proficiency. What are the skills we need for the future so that we remain relevant in that future? Number two is data analytics and problem-solving skills. Data analytics and problem-solving skills. Three, creativity and innovation. We have to be creative. We have to be innovative. Then four, we have adaptability, communication, and collaboration. We need people. We need to collaborate. Institution collaborate with institution. I shared with our African rep yesterday, Dr. Lambert, that we just signed an MOU with Joseph. Is it Joseph Takarda? What do they call this in Benue State now? Formerly Federal University of Technology, Makodi. We signed MOU. Then we also signed MOU last year with FUTO, Federal University of Technology, Owerri. We need that collaboration because no nation is an island of itself. We also take, of course, there's what is called comparative advantage. Then AI and automation competencies, we are talking of key skills for the future, then leadership and critical thinking. Barriers to digital inclusion in Africa include high cost of connectivity and devices. Africa has some of the highest data costs globally. I've mentioned this earlier. Number two, low digital literacy rates. Number three, gender disparities in technology access. Gender disparity. And I made a statement during my presentation yesterday that AI is also biased when it comes to gender. And it's one of the reasons this top organization, Microsoft, stopped using AI for purpose of recruitment. In fact, another bias when you use AI is when you send, before now, I don't know if that one has been corrected, when they talk about employment for doctors, AI see doctors as male, see them as male, whereas we have female doctors in their uncountable numbers. Then weak ICT infrastructure in rural regions. We're talking of barriers to digital inclusion, language and accessibility barriers. Of course, that's another one. Limited investment in digital education. How much are we investing in digital education? Even as universities and ivory towers, how much are we still doing payroll and paper exam or is CBT? Strategies for digital inclusion. Number one, expanding affordable broadband and universal access. Number two, public-private partnership for infrastructure development. Public institutions have to partner with some companies, private companies, That partnership, very, very important. National digital skills training programs, we can develop one. How do we train the nation? Well, you may not be able to train the whole nation. I think we start with ministry, department, agencies. Digital literacy in primary. I just give us an example. Our own school in Buari, Barango near Abuja, it's a secondary school. We have GSS 1 to 3, there SS 1 to 3, and they are already exposed to technology there. Then, see, say digital literacy in primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions, community digital centers, and inclusive ICT policies. The next subheading, preparing the workforce for the knowledge society. And in preparing the workforce for the knowledge society, say number one from our screen here, integration of digital skills in education systems. We need it. I think I saw maybe a curriculum, or did I see recently that now we are having BSc in artificial intelligence. Fantastic. They're upskilling and reskilling existing workers. That's preparation now for the workforce, preparing the workforce for the knowledge society. They're incentivizing digital entrepreneurship. Digital entrepreneurship is not just theory. How do we apply digital tools in entrepreneurship? Promoting STEM education and innovation culture, partnership with tech companies and universities. Role of government. Government have role to play here. National digital strategies and ICT policies. Mentioned this, very, very important. Government should set the ball rolling. Others will follow. And we are doing that. I think we've started that. Support for digital startups and SMEs. Here we are saying providing resources and incentives for entrepreneurship. It is not sufficient that our students have ideas or they have the skills. They need funding. Funding is very important. Investment in broadband and innovation ecosystems. Here we are saying we should build infrastructure and support innovation hubs. Then promoting ethical, equitable digital transformation. Private sector also have role to play in this if we want to achieve this great vision and dream. And what are the roles of the private sector? So corporate digital training programs. We are glad we have, I don't know, upstream. Okay, it's not private now, but we have had several training in the past that we have people from the private sector, like the one we had last in UK. We have people industry academic partnership, very, very important. Support for innovation hubs and incubators. And now when we talk about this industry academia partnership, sometimes institution can even bring somebody that is on the job in the industry, come and practically demonstrate how it is being done to the student in the university. Then professors or lecturers also from the university, when you have partnership collaboration, can also go to this industry, go and teach them the findings of our new research. Because of what essence is a research and your findings if we cannot practically implement them. Then we say support for innovation hubs and incubators, providing opportunities for young tech talents. The role of higher education institutions, curriculum modernization to include digital skills, research on emerging technologies, we have them, emerging technology, collaboration with international universities, like, of course, if some of us are open for collaboration, we are ready. Aside collaborating with ACCSA Global or Certified Institute of Business Entrepreneur, we also have institutions here in United States that we have collaboration with them. And if we are interested to collaborate, for example, Southern University, we have some of the board members who are professors there and deans. We can also collaborate. Producing graduates ready for the digital workforce. Gender inclusion in the digital economy, we should close the gap. That's what we are saying now, gender. I think one of our presentations there in Kigali, they've talked about what Kigali is doing in terms of balancing these gender issues. Maybe they say 25% or how many percent of all appointments should involve female. We should not leave the female behind. That's what we are saying here. After all, there is this popular saying that what a man can do, a woman can do better. The woman can do. So we have successful African initiatives supporting women in technology, empowering women through ICT education, safe digital spaces for women and girls. If you look at the statistics of fraud committed all over the world, I don't want to put percentage, even where we have female committing fraud, we have cases like that. There is minimal compared to the hardware. Let me use that language, hardware. Case studies, let me leave this. The case studies here, we will have Rwanda's digital literacy program. It will interest us to know that Rwanda have a program called Smart Rwanda and Digital Ambassadors Program. And that program alone have trained over 25,000 citizens in digital literacy. Then when you say Kenya, Kenya also have a program called Ajira Digital for Youth Digital Jobs. Ajira Digital targets equipping 1 million youth with skills for online and gig economy jobs. Then in Nigeria, we are not left behind. Growing tech hubs in Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt, over 100 plus active innovation hubs. We have them also. So we should continue. And of course, South Africa also have their coding and robotics initiative. So Africa is not left behind. What we are doing, what we are saying is we should just intensify and do more. Opportunities for youth, as I close, we have digital freelancing and remote work remotely. I was here also in the US 2 years ago. I was here and I saw I saw an appointment letter. Is in Microsoft Office. I will check again. And they said they have seen my CV online and they've gone through my CV, they've seen my profile, that I qualify for a job, a managerial position. And the location of that job is in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. And I don't need to come over to live in Dubai. That they want me to work here from United States. So there are a lot of opportunities for digitally ready professionals, digitally ready youth, ICT startups, and entrepreneurship, online learning and certifications. Like I did mention, we do this online certification. And all we do when we say online, any of our program, when you see online, is not, people are tired of theory. So what we focus when we have any certification course or master class is the practicality. Then tech careers in AI, data science, cloud computing, and cybersecurity. Challenges and risk. Number one challenge, job displacement from automation to inequality in access to digital opportunities. Three, cybersecurity and safety issues, inadequate policy implementation. The risk of exclusion for vulnerable populations. They are very straightforward. What are the recommendations? Affordable digital access policies. Those are the recommendations to take care of those challenges we just identified. Number two, nationwide digital skilling frameworks. We should not just limit it only to a particular state. We say Abuja is urban, then everything should remain, or Lagos is commercial city of Nigeria. No, it's not all about Lagos. It's all about the whole nation. Ethical and inclusive technology deployment. We should deploy this technology. Then incentivizing innovation and research. Then we have strengthening digital rights and privacy laws. Framework for a digital inclusive workforce. Access. We need access. We need access to all this technology. Skills. The place of skills cannot be overemphasized. Innovation. You need to create new things. Do the same thing people have been doing in a different way. Policy. We need to set the policy and adapt or adopt this policy. Partnership, we cannot do it alone. We need collaboration. I put it in another way. Our network affect our net worth. The company we keep affect our accomplishment. Who we follow affect what follows us. So we need networking. In financial management, they will tell you 2 plus 2 is not 4. 2 plus 2 is 5 or even more. Synergy. And here we are saying building a lifelong learning culture, aligning education with labor market demand, creating pathways for digital job. Implementation roadmap, the same thing we saw yesterday, short term, medium term, and long term. Group activity, if we come to our brainstorming session, why not? If we can look at this in addition to what we already have for our brainstorming session, say identify one major digital inclusion challenge in your country. Country may be too wide, the scope is wide. Maybe your institution now, we can narrow it down. Identify one major digital inclusion challenge in your institution. Propose a practical solution using a partnership model. They outline skills needed to prepare youth for future digital jobs. Closing insights. Say the future is not a place we walk into. See that? It is a place we build. And some people say, as you lay your bed, that's how you will sleep on it. It is a place we build one skill, one innovation, one bold decision at a time. It's a gradual process. Digital transformation is not the destination. It is the bridge to a more inclusive, transparent, and prosperous Africa. And this closing inside the third one, let us leave this room not just informed, but transformed, determined to transform every institution we touch. I put it in another way. You will not be remembered for what you have, but what you had. We are talking about value addition, value creation. So let your impact be felt any institution you find yourself. Somebody will put it this way: of what relevance is somebody they say he died as a multi-billionaire when my people will say, that is 1 naira or $1 did not affect me, either directly or indirectly. Of what relevance is that person? But if that person is into community service, philanthropic program, and the rest, such people will be remembered for the value they have had, not what they have. Conclusion: digital inclusion is essential for Africa's economic transformation. Future of work demands continuous learning and innovation. And we say partnership across all sectors are critical to preparing Africa's workforce. Thank you, sirs and ma'ams, for your attention. Now, I say I'm doing, let me quickly share this with us. That is the paper. The second part of my presentation, let me take that before our question, is just to encourage us. Some of us who have been kind to fellow human beings, we should not be weary in doing good. If you see my screen, say making people your most valuable investment. This is an inspiration just to admonish us. I know in the time past, if they ask us to share our experience, it's possible you have assisted people in the time past, and the same person or people you have assisted, they turn around against you. I remember this always, my mother of blessed memory. I still have that mental picture. I was still a student, 100 level student, ABU Zaria then. And one day, I don't know what my late mom saw in our house in One Way Road, Sabongari, Uso, Zamfara State there. I still remember, we still have, my stepmother is still living there. And she called me, say, my son, come, sit on the bed. She sat me by her side. And my mom told me, my son, if you are kind to a black man and the black man reward you with evil, don't feel offended. It may be that God has packaged a white man somewhere to reward you. Where some of us miss it is that if you are privileged to assist fellow human being, you want that same human being to be the one to pay you back. The human beings are limited. We are limited. Any reward from human being, because human being is limited, what you get as benefit from them also is limited. The way I put it, I prefer let Almighty God Himself reward me than the person that I have been privileged to assist. Something happened recently here in the US. A group of Nigerian students were stranded as a result of the policies they just came up with. They don't have access to the kind of funds they had access to. And there was a program that it created opportunity for them to invest their money, and they don't have money to invest. So not my own personal money now. I use the money of our institution, CIB, to support them for investment. And some of the students say, sir, what if this thing fail? How do we pay back? And I told them, as an accountant, we make provision for depreciation. We make provision for bad debt. I already made provision. And honestly, tens of thousands were used to finance the student, and eventually that investment crashed. And whereas others are weeping, they are crying that over $60,000 gone. The only thing I told God, I just reminded him that it is written that he who giveth to the less privileged lendeth unto God. So I want you to pay me back yourself, not this student. So look at this, making people your most valuable investment. 5 minutes, we are done. To make money, make people. The people you make today will make you tomorrow. To invest in properties is good, but to invest in people is far better. Making people happen is far better lasting than making things happen. The people you make today will make things happen tomorrow. See, nothing makes life sweet like making people happy. Your greatest trophies are the tears you wipe away, not the things you achieve or acquire. Your greatest achievement is raising achievers. Life is better when you are happy, but life is at its best when others are happy because of you. So be faithful in touching others' hearts. Be an inspiration. Nothing in nature lives for itself. Rivers do not drink their own water. Trees do not eat their own fruits. The sun does not shine for itself. And flowers do not spread their fragrance for themselves. Living for others is a rule of nature. We were all created to help and support each other. I say, no matter how difficult you find yourself in, no matter how difficult the situation you find yourself in, still do good to others. That is the admonition. To make people valuable makes your life more honorable. The people you make happy will in turn make you happy. The people you help today becomes your armies tomorrow. I don't want to overflog this. We have Professor Adefila. He has been in Meduguri, University of Meduguri, for over 30 years. He has been in Meduguri, living there. Sometimes when they tell this man, when are you going home? He's from the southwest. He will ask back, where is home? Where is his home? And one day he traveled by road. He shared this experience with me one-on-one. He traveled to Abuja by road, and on his way back to Meduguri, he ran into the Boko Haram guys. And as soon as he ran into them, already some of them say, they want to pull the dagger and strike him. Then a voice came from a commander, stop. Is that not Professor Adefila? According to this professor, he said he was shaking like this. He said, yes, I am. Ubachi Mokulinshi. They gave him his car key. So, oh yeah, continue driving. And the commander even ordered the Boko Haram guys to guide him through the danger zones. That was how this man escaped being killed. Act of kindness. If he has been a professor oppressing students in the University of Meduguri, that would have been history by now. It is not places that make people, it is people that make places. Say those who are not looking for happiness many times are the most likely to find it, because those who are busy searching for happiness often forget that the surest way to be happy is to seek happiness for others. When you make others around you happy, you also contact happiness. And I conclude here by saying, do not let ungratefulness from others hold you back from supporting those in need. I know some people reward good with evil. Don't let that one discourage you. I have the last experience I'm sharing. I have this professor who happened to be my lecturer from 100 level in ABU Zaria. He taught me also MSc, also assisted me in my PhD. And suddenly things fell apart. He doesn't have money. He has US visa, but he has been talking to me. I thought at first it was a joke. He said, Oga Adebayo, that's how he addressed me. Help me now. I have this US visa 5 years. It's about to expire. But I don't have the finance to travel to US. So when he asked me like 2, 3 times, I know he meant it. So I did his ticket. He traveled to US Dallas. I left Louisiana to even pay him a visit, see what transpired. So when it was about going back after spending days in Dallas, I think there was a delay in the flight. So he missed that flight. So he had a reason to stay a bit longer when he got to Europe. So he did not arrive Abuja as planned. I think a day later he arrived. And while I was busy working, how do we do? How will he come out of this situation? I called the airline. I now got this text message from his wife. See it on the screen. Say, good day, Prof. I hope you and your loved ones are doing well. I would like to take this opportunity to sincerely thank you for covering my husband's ticket to the US. However, I must express some concern. My husband may not be fully familiar with ticketing, travel route, or airline partnership, which I believe warranted some consideration before booking such an inexpensive ticket. Frankly, it's not a ticket I will even consider for my 20-year-old daughter, let alone a 60-year-old professor who has dedicated his life to serving and supporting many, including yourself. All those experience. Anyway, but this is a ticket I spent overall over 5 million. But this is what I got from the wife. But then, instead of me to reply her in a harsh way, I work with this mentality that the addition of too concentrated acid will always lead to explosion of fire and disaster. You are not a weak man. When some other person is up there, you mellow down. See my reply to her. Good morning, Doc. Thank you for the message and expression of your worries over the flight challenges experienced by Prof. I don't think I am so inconsiderate to the level of booking a cheap flight that we stress in. If United did not cancel the flight from Frankfurt to Abuja, it should have arrived in Abuja by 5:20 p.m. yesterday. Take a look at the original flight booked. I did a screenshot. May God bring him back safely. Next time, we will plan better. Thank you. Enjoy your harvest. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Prof. We sincerely appreciate the presentation. All right, so the floor is open for, as usual, comments, reactions, questions on this very insightful two-part presentation we've had. Please, distinguished participants, the floor is open to us. Anyone who may have? Okay. Prof, from the feelers we are getting here, there seem not to be any question at the moment.
All right,
okay,
the next presenter is available, right?
No, Prof, there's a question coming through.
Yeah, but the next presenter here is on ground, right?
She'll wait patiently, I've told her. She'll wait patiently. We
okay. Let's go ahead with the question.
We have seen what is going on, or we have heard what is going on.
I'm not hearing Dr. Lambert.
Okay. No, you will hear her shortly. You will hear her. No, it's fine. Please go ahead with your question.
Okay. My question is that with your presentation, sir, the presentation we have been listening to since Monday, we have heard what this country is doing. And we have heard from you what America too has been doing. Now, we should come back to Nigeria. How do we help Nigeria, especially you that is a Nigerian and you are over there? How will you help Nigeria? In what way can you help?
Thank you, Ma, for that question. I just want to quickly draw our attention to part of the paper I just presented. That as we have it today, Nigeria is not actually left behind when we talk about digital inclusion. I did mention in my paper that we have some digital hubs now. We have some in Lagos, we have some in Abuja. That all we need now is how do we duplicate some of these digital hub across the states, 36 states first in Nigeria. Then, if possible, 774 local government. It is a gradual process. That's number one. Number two, I also did mention that before I left Nigeria, I just came in 2 weeks ago. I realized that already NUC has approved because we have been, as a matter of fact, most of the training we have been organizing, we organize it in collaboration with National Universities Commission. Is it last year we were in the UK 3 times for training, different training, and mostly hands-on. And I love what the executive secretary, the current executive secretary of NUC, also said during our last Singapore conference. He said he noticed that the visions and ideas of Certified Institute of Business Entrepreneur, CIB USA, which is another organization. I'm also the training director. He said the ideas of CIBE align with the vision of National Universities Commission. I want to take it a step further just to answer your question now. By the grace of God, come 2026, God keep us alive and give us good health. We are working out a national training workshop. I call it national training workshop now. We are working it out. And that national training workshop, the whole idea, I keep saying, I don't believe so. It's just because of time. If you have left me, I told you 3 in 1, but I don't want to keep our resource person just waiting. Theory is the basis for practice. Theory is good, but we as an institution or organization, and I as a person, I don't believe too much in doing talk, talk, talk. They will let us do the talk. I actually have a practical demonstration we will have done today, but I couldn't manage that 1 hour enough. But there's always time in future. What I'm trying to say is that national workshop we are planning for next year by the grace of God. That's ACCSA Global Certified Institute of Business Entrepreneur USA in collaboration with National Universities Commission will be hosted at their auditorium there in Nigeria as part of the plan. And we expect representatives from our universities to be in attendance. Because during that national workshop, God helping us, it's not only Adebayo that will even be talking. We are bringing some of our partners from different countries. Like we have somebody coming from Dubai by God's grace, another resource person from Paris, another resource person from UK, then myself and maybe one other from US. Now it's a time for practical. Let these people share their experience, how we get this thing done in our countries, that we are getting results. Then this is the way forward. And while we are doing that collaboration again, another reason we tell you is that from that national training workshop, national workshop, NUC will be able to package findings from the training into policies that or into curriculum that will be implemented by our universities. And once we can get that one done, that is the step one. The step two is this. During the Singapore training conference we had earlier this year, the representative, the Honorable Minister of Education, was also in attendance. And the guy said something. He said, this AI tool, that this is the first time he's seeing the demonstration of some of the AI tool. Can ACCSA Global CIB come and package a training for the top executive, the older ones, that will go at their own pace? So by the time the person who is at the ends of affair is familiar with the use of AI tool, that person will not have difficulty in approving training for his subordinates. So that is gradual. Drops of water make a mighty ocean. So by the time we take it one at a time, then Nigeria will be an envy among the Committee of Nations. Honestly, digital tools is the in thing now. It's digital tools. I give an example here. I have my children here in high school. There's one of them in middle school. When they come home with their Chromebook, I'm being practical and I'm just telling you the reality. Some of the things they do on their system, even me, their father, don't have an idea, honestly. So they expose them early to the use of technology. If we can do that also in our country, that is the way forward.
Thank you
for
very
that
much,
question.
Prof. And this would be a very good note to anchor. Please, can we give Prof a round of applause? Please, let me quickly invite our conference governor. He has been doing that. So just in 1 minute, if you don't mind, can you come here so that Prof can hear you? To just say a word of appreciation to Prof before we call it a wrap on this session.
So, Prof, thank you for your time.
No,
On behalf of the participants, yeah, you've managed to speak outside a few times. I must confess this presentation was thought-provoking. That's why at first there was no question. We were all thinking over what you said. And it's something that I would let all of us go back and think over and think of how to put everything to practice. But I would like to give a little request, sort of. I know you're doing some other things for your country. I don't know if you have other plans towards your alma mater, Ahmadu Bello University area. So I would like to let you think over that and appreciate you for the program. You've been doing wonderfully well. Thank you very much, sir.
Now good, sir. Thank you.
Prof, any final word before we?
Thank you, SAS and MAS, again on behalf of the international president and the entire board of ACCSA Global. We want to thank you for coming. We are not taking this opportunity for granted. And we also believe, God, that together, if we work, it will be better and better until we achieve the Nigeria of our dream. I woke up this morning and the statement came out of my mouth. I can't remember what I actually saw in the realm of the spirit. And what came out of my mouth was, Nigeria will be great again. So collaboration, very important, and we're at your service. If there are areas you need us to collaborate, and addressing what our class governor just said now, at the last conference we had in London, I actually met with the VC of ABU's area and one other professor, and we are now, they specifically requested that if we can make it happen, 1 week minimum, training on these AI tools. In fact, the professor said something I laughed. He said, the training they are talking about, the one will lock them inside, maybe from morning till afternoon or till evening. So that by that, after that 5 days, when they come out, all their brain, all their head will be speaking artificial intelligence is doable. Because what I actually planned for today that we couldn't touch is something some of us are familiar, very popular, ChatGPT. And what I want to show us in that ChatGPT are some other features that many people, we are not maximizing the potentials inside that ChatGPT. But we'll leave this for another day. Just yesterday, I used one of the features in that same ChatGPT to create a website. There are some things we pay money to do that this AI can do for us. We'll look at that for future period. So that at the end of the day, all of us will be multifaceted professionals and academia that can fit into any sector of the economy globally, not only Nigeria. Thank you again for your attention.
Thank you very much. This is a final round of applause, Prof. Thank you so very much, Prof. And please enjoy the rest of your day back in the US.
Thank you, sir.